Christians. He said, well, I know, Dad. I said, there's no difference. We drink just a little more wine. It's one and the same. You know, people always ask me this question. What are your 3 biggest thrills in your coaching career? And what are your 3 greatest disappointments? Well, the thrills are way too many to name, but the 3 biggest disappointments are this: that I didn't learn to be more humble at a younger age as a coach. Why does it take someone past his 50s to bring humility into his life? Well, probably because I didn't think a whole lot about the Lord. And the one great thing that happened to me the past year and a half, and there weren't a lot of great things, is when times got tough, I had a picture of a group of coaches from my office texted me by Dan, and they said, where are you? We brought you lunch. We know you're down a little bit. Then they came to see me a few weeks later along with Chris and said, would you like to join in? And I said, I'd love to. And really, it's a great thing for anyone when he's going through difficult times to have others raise you up. That's really what coaching is all about. And I've been a lot of places, and I've never had the soccer coach, the baseball coach, the swim coach, the golf coach, the tennis coach come in to lift your spirits up. And I think that's really the definition of being a Christian. And the thing about humility and ego, the thing I found in every failure in my life, it's always been because of ego. Every athlete I've coached that have not reached their potential has been because of ego. In athletics, we call ego edging greatness out. It's when you start thinking of yourself before the Lord, before your teammates, before the team. In a spiritual sense, ego is edging God out. It's when you think you're really more relevant than you really are. I'm a big proponent of putting away the phone. 2 nights ago on the road, a bunch of young coaches said, can we grab you and just pick your brain about the full court press? All of us are together, hundreds of coaches. I said, sure, where you want to go? Went to a little restaurant, we sat down, all the coaches were around, and we started moving salt and pepper shakers, talking about the full court press. Then suddenly, coaches started texting when the other coaches were talking. Midway while they were asking questions, I got up, went over, said hello to some other coaches, and when I came back, they said, something wrong, coach? I said, yeah, you guys were more interested in texting other people than you are enjoying the company around you. And I said, guys, it happens all the time. And I'll leave you with this about ego. This is an awesome device. It really is. I Google something, it takes me right to the doorstep of where I want to go. I make reservations. I find every recruit's number. What a device. In the old days, we didn't have this. But I do a few things. I never take it to dinner. And if someone takes it out during dinner, they pay the check. And the reason I'm so much against this because I think Twitter is an ego device. Look at what I have to say. Look at me. And I think it brings a lot of ills to a magnificent device. And I'll leave you with one really important story. I was speaking to a corporation, and I was the Puerto Rican national coach in Puerto Rico. And I was speaking about the ills of the phone with this draft choice. He wanted to go in the top 5, and he was sitting down with the owner of the Chicago Bulls. took out 2 phones during dinner, turned them over. The owner and the general manager were asking him questions. Then he started turning over his phone and reading his text. And sure enough, like I just left the bunch of coaches to prove a point, the owner said, "This meeting's over. Thank you for coming." He told the general manager, "We're not drafting him. If he can't focus, he's not going to be able to play for the Bulls." And I told that story of the importance on focusing and lifting everybody up to this group in Puerto Rico. A gentleman whose family owned 3 hotels, the El Conquistador, the El San Juan, and a local one that just purchased, came to me and said, "I've got a much better story. And if you'd like to use it in your speeches, go ahead, just don't mention the people at the heads in Puerto Rico." I said, "What is it?" He said, "The head of tourism, the right-hand man of the governor, went into a room with American Airlines back when the cell phones just came out. They sat down. American Airlines was coming to Puerto Rico to make it the hub of South America. 7 flights a day to Buenos Aires and Rio, with over $1 billion worth of equipment. Billions of dollars at stake in tourism. And as most of you know today, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico is at $78 billion in debt." Well, they sat down at the meeting. The man from American Airlines had everything on a tripod. All the machinery he was going to bring in, what it was going to mean to Puerto Rico to be the hub of South America. And obviously he was very excited, and the man who put the whole thing together, he owned 3 hotels. This was going to make his life so much easier. Tourism would be the biggest boom that ever hit the islands. In the middle of the presentation, the governor's right-hand person and the head of tourism started texting. He stopped his presentation, looked at both of them to see, "Are you done?" "Oh, I'm sorry, I was just answering someone who I had to answer." Happened 3 more times. On the 3rd time, the head man said, "Put the tripod away," got up, shook their hands and said, "You know, obviously, the people on the other end of that phone are more important than what we have to bring to Puerto Rico. This meeting's over." They flew to Miami, met in Miami, and made that city the hub of South America. So sometimes in business and in life, I think one of the most important things, I haven't thought in my life enough about the Lord, enough about Christ. These coaches have made me think that way much more, because they've lifted me up when I needed to be lifted up, and that's what coaching is all about. And if we all could just get rid of ego and just all think of the next person, we're truly going to lead a blessed life. I've been so impressed with Chris. And really, he's the most impressive person I've met here in my 16 years. Because he's selfless, cares about the athletes, it's never about him. And the greatest thing about Chris is he found humility at a really, really young age. So I congratulate all of you for being part of the fellowship. And if you can just do what the coaches did, don't edge greatness out, more important, don't edge God out, and just take a little time to lift somebody else up, you're going to go home at night and feel pretty darn special. Because that's what Jesus did a long time ago. And it's great to speak more about him, to read more about him, and to share in the fellowship. It's really, really important. And for me, it lifts me up very, very high in wanting to help somebody each and every day. So I caution this, put it away. It's an ego device when used the wrong way. it's awesome for directions to find recruits. But it really, really is important that you just focus in on the people you're with, because they're the most significant people you will ever meet. I'm sitting next to a young athlete. I don't know how many times our paths will cross again. And I don't know a whole lot about him. But I really look at him and say, I don't know, he's probably a great athlete, but he is really a special young man. So Chris, Tammy, I congratulate you on the awesome job you're doing. To the coaches, I want to thank all those coaches who were in my office that day and I spent some time with, because you came along at the right time when an old coach really, really needed some lifting. Thank you all very much.